The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audience.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Trippin' Ain't Easy. I am your host, Trip Simpson, in the building.
The first of his name, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm.
I want to get into this video today that's trending on Twitter. It's been trending on Twitter for the past couple days, and it's a video of Michael Knowles. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know who Michael Knowles is, but he is a popular conservative commentator slash actor slash activist, I guess, who is a part of that whole Daily Wire team with Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. I don't necessarily agree with everything this guy has to say, but I do agree with a lot of the things he has to say. Now, recently, it looks like he may have been at this school, speaking at some school. I don't know what school it is. I just happened to run across this clip of him being challenged by a trans activist. So, without wasting any more time, let's get to the video tape.
Hi, Mr. Knowles. My name is Kat, and I have a question. And before I state my question, I just want to honor that we are all standing on the land that belongs to the Ojibwe Anishinaabe people.
Thank you for mentioning that. I meant to mention that at the beginning of my speech, but I'm glad that
Dakota,
you
Northern.
Oh man, off the break, off the break, the sarcasm.
Cheyenne, and they have been here for time immemorial, and so that leads into my question. So, you make the statement that transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely, and so I'm going to ask you a question about that, but prior to that, I want to just state that for 5,000 years BC, Gala transcribed and androgynous trans priests of Sumerian goddesses have been around and noted. 200 to 300 years before Christ in ancient Greece, there were...
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me you have to reach that far into history to pick up mythical characters to try and prove your point?
Gods worshipped by Gali priests who wore feminine attire and identified as women. Since we are standing on Anishinaabe land, Turtle Island, which is the nation that we live under, has
I don't live under Turtle.
I'd like to stop right there and shout out to all my folks that's Moors out there. Look, man, this Turtle Island shit that y'all niggas be talking is a fantasy. Now, it very may have well been named Turtle Island way back in the day, but there's been a couple wars, and a group of people that call this place America won the war. The people who call it Turtle Island lost the war. It's not Turtle Island if it ever was, but if it was, it's not Turtle Island anymore. This is the United States of America for now. Now, if we keep Biden in office, it might be the United States of China, but that's a whole different conversation.
Right, well, maybe you should read a little more indigenous knowledge books. Indigenous communities have used two-spirit personas for the entirety of their culture, and so that leads me to my question. When you say that transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely, I ask you, Mr. Knowles, how can we eradicate something that has been here as long as humans have?
Well,
ooh, now I want to stop right before he goes in. I want to point out something. Two things that she said that are, one thing is wrong, one thing contradicts herself. She stated something about two-spirit. So if she says two-spirit, that's damn near like admitting that there are only two genders. So she's really owning herself right there. Two-spirit, two genders. Two-spirit, two genders. Also, she made a comment about transgenders being out since humans have been on the earth. Well, she only referenced shit from about maybe a couple thousand years out. Humans have been on the earth for at least 1 million years, according to science. So I don't know what she's getting at.
Well, yeah, there have been all sorts of crazy, terrible ideas for a very long time, too. You're pointing to civilizations that committed human sacrifice, okay?
right now. You acting real paranoid and shit.
Damn. I mean, off the break, he already basically ripped your conversation. Let's go back a little bit.
As long as humans have.
Well, yeah, there have been all sorts of crazy, terrible ideas for a very long time, too. You're pointing to civilizations that committed human sacrifice, okay? You're saying that some ancient pagan tribe worshipped demons and therefore we need to castrate children. That's not a good argument. Yes, that's true. There were all sorts of terrible tribes. In fact, as recently as a little over 500 years ago, the Aztecs here in the Western Hemisphere slaughtered 80,000 people in a sacrifice to one of the demons that they worshipped within the span of 4 days. That's not a recommendation of doing that. I don't think that we ought to consider it. Though, unfortunately, in our increasingly pagan and liberal culture, we do commit human sacrifice to the tune of 800,000 babies a year sacrificed through abortion. And
God damn, he's smoking her boots. He's smoking her boots. I really don't even know. I mean, he's already killed her. But this video has 3 more minutes. So let's see what he says.
It would make the Aztecs blush what we do. But that doesn't make it the right thing. You refer to a notion that is increasingly popular on the left, which is the idea of the two-spirit among various indigenous tribes. That is not real. That is a contrivance of white liberals in America. There have been various conceptions of sex and gender for all of human history, but the idea of the two-spirited indigenous intuition of some modern transsexual living in New York City who's a man who very much desires to be a woman, that is a complete fiction.
And once again, even if you use a term like two-spirit, you're already admitting that there's man and woman. There's male, female, not 126 other genders. So that point within itself contradicts everything that she's saying.
You will not find that in literature dating very far back. So what does it say about the question itself? The question, regardless of what the ancient Sumerians believed before they chopped up little kids or whatever, is it true? Can a man really be a woman, and can a woman really become a man? We all know that the answer to that question is false. That's why Professor McCloskey pulled out of our debate at the last moment next week, because even a distinguished professor knows, he has the intelligence to know, even if he is transgender identifying himself, that he can't win that debate because the idea is indefensible. So
facts.
The question becomes, how does one know that someone with the total physical appearance of a man, how can one know that that person really is a woman? Do you have an answer to that question?
This is where it gets interesting.
How can to clarify, you're asking how can somebody know if they are a woman?
And how can I know if that person is a woman? If not by the physical attributes, their natural and enduring biological sex. What's the alternative to that?
So my response to you is then a question of, what is the purpose of knowing another person's sexual identity or let me finish.
So she answers a question with a question, because this is how they all stumble up. They never can answer the question. How do you truly identify someone? They can't do it because they